Ashley, and today I'm going to do a how I edit my Instagram photos video for you guys. And this is pretty exciting for me because I personally love editing photos and it's like my favorite pastime. Kasi isa lang talaga yung game na app dito sa phone ko and the rest are photo editing apps. Before I actually started vlogging, some of you guys kept on asking how I edit my Instagram photos, like what apps I use, the filter I use, and of course, how the whole process goes. So if you're interested in how I edit my Instagram photos, just keep on watching. Now before I proceed to the editing tutorial part of this video, I would like to share some 3 tips for you guys. And on tip number 1 is work with what you have, and you don't need a fancy camera to have a nice feed. And I just actually use my phone, which is an iPhone, and of course the camera that I'm using right now while filming, and that is a Nikon D3200. So yeah, I rarely use the DSLR to take my photos because it's really heavy and it's not that convenient to bring everywhere, so I just use my phone. Most of the time, nagpapapicture na ako sa friends ko. Airdrop na lang, yung mga ganon. And if you don't like the angle, just help them, position mo sila kung saan mo sila gusto and how you want to take your OOTD shot. On tip number 2 is always have a good lighting, and actually it depends on the picture that you want to capture, but most of the time you really need a good lighting, and I actually just use Mr. Sun as my lighting. And of course, alam mo dapat yung mga good lighting hours, which is the golden hour. If I'm not mistaken, that is from 4 to 5 p.m. or 5 to 6. Hindi ako sure. The last tip is, ano ba yung last tip? Oh, last tip is adjust the brightness of your phone and make sure you clearly see your photos. So this is my Instagram, and that is at Garcia. I have a big feed as of the moment. As you can see, my feed is not that well curated, and I don't really want to hold myself back into posting photos that doesn't fit my feed. These are the 4 apps that I use most of the time for my Instagram photos, and I actually have a lot of photo editing apps that I want to share to you guys. So comment down below if you want me to make more tutorials about photo editing, and yeah. So these are the top 4 apps, which is the Snapseed, VSCO or VSCO, Picsart, and UNUM. To start off, the first and my favorite among all the apps that I use, which is Snapseed. This is where I adjust the brightness, the contrast of my photo, you know, the basics.
So this is the first photo that I will edit, and as you can see, the background is quite bluish, which doesn't really fit my feed that much. Later on, I will whiten the wall, and as you can see, there are like stains, yellow stains on the wall as well. So the first thing I do is tune the image, and I will pump up the brightness first into 20. And actually it depends on the picture, but for this photo I'll pump up the brightness into 20, and then I will lower down the ambience. I rarely adjust the contrast of the photo. I always edit the ambience. Now onto the part of whitening the photo, I go back to tuning the image, and then I adjust the saturation. I will decrease it until the walls become white. And as you can see, I'm pale, but don't fret, we will fix that later on and I will show you guys. Now on the top right side of the app, there's this arrow going to the left that has a box below, and then you should select that. And Snapseed has layers too, just like in Photoshop, but go to tune image and then select the one that has a paintbrush on it. Then there's this box as well. Then paint over the part that you want to remove the saturation effect. Now for this photo, perhaps I want to remove the saturation effect on my body since I don't want to look that pale. And then ta-da! It works like magic, you guys. This is the before and the after. Now I'll proceed to the next photo and do the same thing, but this time I'll also adjust the details part of the photo so that the structure is more defined, and I'll also use the healing brush tool to remove some parts of my baby hair. sometimes this tool is quite inaccurate, so I have an alternative for that, and that is Picsart. Now for Picsart, I always use the clone tool. I don't know how else I will explain this to you guys, but it's pretty much self-explanatory. As you can see, there are like some crease in the sheets, and I wanted to remove that with this clone tool. Although I'm not that satisfied yet with the photo, so I'll edit it again with Snapseed. And on the left bottom part of the photo, I'll use the selective tool and decrease the contrast and brighten up that part as well so that it will look even.
Now on to the next app I use, which is VSCO or VSCO.
Now it's time to spill the filters I use, and that is HB2. I'll always stick with this one. And then of course the highlight, I use the cream one, not the pink one. Just a tip, if you want your feed to look more cohesive in a way that your photos look good together, just use one filter just like what I did here. On to the last app, and that is UNUM, which is a lifesaver. It lets you plan out your feed, like what would look like if you rearranged the photos or you delete some.
Alright, that wraps up my how I edit my Instagram photos video, and I hope you guys learned a thing or two. And please let me know in the comment section below if you guys want to see more of this kind of tutorials, and please comment down below your video suggestions, like what do you want to see more of me in the near future or whatever, but please let me know. So thank you so much for all the support and the love that I'm getting, and I love you guys all so much, and I'll see you on my next video.